From Mo City to Houston, across the world.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy your flight.
Make some noise for Yams G the DJ.
Welcome to Play2Win, where we bring you 360 degrees of esports coaching. This show will bring you professional esports players, team executives, league owners, celebrities, anybody and everybody that are contributing to the explosive growth of that billion-dollar industry called esports. My name is Charles Gentry, aka The Oracle, and you have tuned in to Play2Win. Okay, we are talking to Mr. LeAndrew Gordon, and he is from Esports Futuri. We're going to be talking about finance. We're going to be talking about the business of esports, and how esports has not only grown, but what it is growing into, and the part that he plays in it, as well as the part that finance, and of course, all the other business principles that apply to all the other businesses, also apply to sports, and esports in particular. So we will be talking about all those things today on Play2Win. I am your host, Charles Gentry, aka The Oracle. And again, my guest today is LeAndrew Gordon. How you doing today, LeAndrew?
Good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. Another day, and we're fortunate to be here to see it. Hey, I am excited to get you on because this show is all about 360 degrees of esports, and we talk about all the facets of it and all the people who are helping it to grow into what it is becoming, and that is a billion-dollar industry. So again, happy to have you on here today to discuss some of those things. One, tell us about the company itself, Esports Futuri, who you are involved with.
So Esports Futuri is a media and entertainment company that's mainly focused on the esports market. But it's also a platform for the esports community industry as well. It also has a esports league that is growing and expanding as we speak. So there's a lot of great things coming from Esports Futuri regarding content, competitive leagues, tournaments, information, and everything esports. We're here to uplift and bring the entire esports community together. Help those who are less fortunate in disadvantaged communities, help them be able to appreciate and enjoy some of this, the rise of esports as well.
Okay, and you particularly, as I mentioned, you have a background in finance and economics. How is that helpful in you dealing with esports?
Well, like all things, it's all about the money at the end of the day. It's hard.
It's all about the money.
Money
right?
talks. Money talks. And I've always been interested in how money works and how businesses work all throughout college and even growing up. To put a long story short, I got an undergrad in finance and economics from Trinity University. And so I've been very curious on the finance side and economic side for a long time. fast forward about 2 years later after I graduated, Shark Tank, I've been watching Shark Tank since I was back home in elementary days, and just trying to understand, wrap my head around the entrepreneurship and how things grow from nothing, you know? And anyways, long story short, Mark Cuban had invested in the esports team, and me and my brother, Sergio Gordon, who's the director of content and media here at Esports Futuri as well. We knew, once we saw Mark Cuban jump into it, we knew that there was something there. We weren't sure what was there. We weren't sure how it was going to continue and grow, but we knew that we had to get our feet in there and figure it out and learn about that new industry. Had the fortunate opportunity of being family friends with Jacob Miles, a great guy, great mentor, was a great human being overall. He brought to us his vision of Esports Futuri, and he saw the opportunity there. Me and Sergio, being the young, eager professionals that we are, saw this as our opportunity. You know, just shortly after we had spoken into existence, it came to us, and we knew we wanted to run with it and continue to push it forward. So I say that before I jumped into Esports Futuri, I had to make sure that this was actually something. And as I began doing more research, not just from a holistic point of view, but also toward the financials, esports is for real. It's gotten the attention of JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, every sports league regarding the NFL, NBA, MLB, they're all aware of esports and what it's becoming. So I'm just excited to be on the ground floor. I'm excited to try and utilize my experience and knowledge on the capital side to make sure that we're investing for the future, not only financially, but socially as well, and doing our part in uplifting the sports community.
You are saying right now, so much of it is about opportunity, you know, and as you said, you looked into it and you saw that there was a great opportunity there. You know, what are some of the things you see when you talk about opportunity and you're looking at it from a business standpoint and a standpoint of finances? What did you see when you looked into it, you know, besides the obvious growth, besides those celebrities and people who are getting into it? What did you see in terms of a business structure that made you think, wow, esports has some real opportunities and it's really going to turn into something? You know, what did you see in looking at it?
You know, one of the first things they teach you in business school is that, you know, the numbers aren't everything. Sometimes you need to look at a team's management. You need to look at how they actually make money. What is their story? The story of esports is simple, and it's a lot less complicated than many other leagues out there. You see, the thing with esports is that the majority of us enjoy playing video games. The majority of us, all of us, have played video games. You don't need to be tall. You don't need to be short. You don't need to be big. You don't need to be small. You don't need to be a male, female, he, she, non-binary, no matter what. Whatever suits you, there's a video game for you. There's a community out there for you. That audience in itself, which all the other leagues know now that the viewership that esports is bringing in annually absolutely blows out almost every other sports league besides the NFL. And that will take over the NFL, I would assume, for the next 3 to 5 years. And that in itself is a great force that can't be reckoned with, that can't be disputed. And like I said, simply because the target audience is just so wide. And with the world becoming even more interconnected, us relying more on technology, internet, medical assistants, doctors, they're practicing surgeries through virtual reality sets, you know? Virtual reality sets, you can do that as a 14-year-old. Doctors are only going to continue to get better because they can do so much more in a virtual gaming world rather than having to use dummy objects or real objects. And that's just a small piece of where esports, video game, competitive, and understanding that whole realm is going here real soon.
So from what you're telling me, we're just looking at the tip of the iceberg right now when it comes to esports.
This is only the tip of the iceberg. And as technology continues to grow, as we become more interconnected, as these leagues and games start to compete worldwide, and see worldwide, teams can play here in Dallas and play a team in China same day, same time, and be in their hometown and have a legit competition. That kind of stuff you just can't get. The sheer number, size of content, viewership, league, prize money, it's just going to blow every other sports league out of the water.
The generations that have basically grown up with it, just like my generation grew up with traditional sports. We have generations who are growing up now with esports as their sport, as what they do. So how does that contribute to the growth of esports, knowing that you have people who basically grew up with controllers in their hand?
You know, it makes our job a lot easier, I'll tell you that. And I'll give you an example. The other day I was playing a game online with some buddies of mine, and one of my buddies is around 32, 33 years old, and he's playing with us on his free time. And his daughter walks in the room, and I can hear her through his headset. And she's like, "Hey, Daddy, my game won't download, or it's taking too long, or whatever." And you can hear him yelling as he's playing, "Honey, I just downloaded it. You just have to wait an hour and it'll be done." And we're just hearing that kind of, dynamic in that household that's really never existed. Our parents weren't leisurely playing video games with their friends while their kids are playing games at the same time. That dynamic was never normalized, was never there. With us growing up, with video games in our hands, the younger generation only consuming nothing but video games, it's not hard to put two and two together to see where that's going. And like I said, it's made it a lot easier for us having that dynamic play out now.
Yeah, definitely so. Esports Futuri, knowing about the company and what you're building and putting together there, it has so many facets to it. It has tentacles just going out in seemingly every direction. Just give us a little, a quick synopsis of what they're doing over there, Esports Futuri, and some of the things and areas they're touching upon.
Definitely. So right now we are really trying to build our brand and getting our word out to the community about who we are and what we're trying to do. And right now we're starting locally here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area with local tournaments and different podcasts and shows that are geared toward the esports community. We're also doing some charities and fundraising for those less fortunate, those disadvantaged communities. And so that's where we're really at right now, building on top of those brands, top of those missions right now. And then also trying to figure out how we can reach the kids at schools. Kids might not have opportunity to play fall sports this fall. And, I'm sure many of them would like to compete at something. If we can find a way to reach out to them, have them compete, and enjoy with one another while also learning and familiarizing themselves with technology, with video games, understanding that there's a career path out there. I think that can, change things around for them, quite a bit during these times. So we're really focused on that, trying to just better our community, get our brand out there, and there's a lot more exciting things to come in as well.
All right. Now, when we talk about gaming, a lot of people get into esports because they are gamers. They enjoy playing the games, and it's part of their upbringing, part of their culture. So tell us about yourself. Were you a gamer? Are you still a gamer? What is your game that you play? Because most people specialize in a certain kind of game when it comes to esports. So give us a little bit about yourself there, LeAndrew.
Right. I would say I'm an avid gamer. I would say that ever since I can remember, ever since I was real young, I've had either Game Boy in my hand or Xbox in my house. There was a very short period where I went without video games, and that was when I was in college and starting off. But other than that, I've always been a video game head. And anytime it was my birthday, Christmas, I needed the newest and latest Game Boy Advance, PSP, Nintendo, you name it, that's what we wanted. So growing up, I grew up when Halo had really just started taking off. And so it was really interesting seeing the rise of that. And I really feel like that was one of the first games that helped bring multiple players from multiple geographical areas online together, at least from my generation, I should say. And to where it was very popular and becoming mainstream. And I say that, and it's funny because Halo just dropped a new version of their game today. So I'm just excited to think about that in the esports world. So maybe think about that. But my favorite game right now is probably COD as well too. It's hard to beat that. A lot of the guys like to hop on there and drop in Warzone, but you know, Warzone, FIFA, Madden, can't go wrong.
We see the innovations that have taken place that have allowed the growth of esports. And we have a big one coming up with 5G. How do you see 5G changing the landscape as far as esports is concerned?
It's changing. It's only going to intensify and help the esports community. With 5G becoming a common thing, gaming on mobile phones will completely take off. Consoles may be a thing of the past here soon if you can play any game that you want on your video games. And when you have internet that quickly and that fast, there's just no limit when it comes to competing online with video games. So I'm excited for it. I know the industry is. I know a lot of streamers and gamers are as well. Like I said, it'll only help. It'll only help.
All about speed.
All about speed. All about speed. You ask all the gamers, they'll all tell you what their internet speed is. You know, the FPS. They know exactly to the dime what they use and what they need. So.
Again, looking at it from the business standpoint, those people who themselves see the opportunity there in esports, and they're thinking about building some type of esports company or doing something in esports to take advantage of the opportunity. And we might just say not just for the money, but because they're doing something that they love and have a passion for. But give them an idea of some things that they might think about in terms of finance and from the financially healthy business point of view. What are some of the things that an entrepreneur needs to think about in starting a new business and going into a new business, even if it is esports?
Right. Well, I'll try and keep it related to esports in that sense. One business venture that I've seen here recently that's really caught my eye is some of these pop-up shops that are video game centers. Basically, it's a small shop that houses anywhere from probably from 15 to 30 different consoles, PCs, whatever. And you and your friends can come in and rent a couple of PCs, consoles, whatever, and play away. They host birthday parties, events, you name it, anything video game related, they're probably hosting something like that. To me, that's such a great business idea, and I'll tell you why. I have three younger brothers, all between the ages of 18 and 14. All grew up streaming video games. They watch nothing but YouTube and video games. I mean, we're talking about the typical esports fan, target audience, and everything. When they get together and they want to hang out, you know what they're asking each other? Do you want me to bring my TV? Do you want me to bring my Xbox? They're not asking, do you want to bring my basketball, my football, or my chessboard? You want to bring my console, my Xbox, because they all want to play together in the same area on the same TV. That's all they're thinking about. And as a business venture, I can't think of anything that has less overhead than just having those games, having an area for teens all alike. And I think if it hadn't been for COVID-19 right now, I think that really would have taken off with summer parties, and I think that will take off in the future as well. But that's just what kids want, you know. You'd be crazy to go and try and build, you know, basketball courts in the mall. You're just not going to attract kids like that. You go build a video game center, gaming center, you're going to attract kids. You just got to give them what they want, you know. And so just being able to see that dynamic growing and seeing it firsthand with my younger brothers, it's just crazy. Just crazy, all the business ideas, the business ventures. And like Jake will tell you, sometimes you just have to let the market tell you what it wants.
You know, we're entering into a period, and I think that COVID may have, even though it's shutting down different aspects of our society, in many ways, I think it's accelerated the growth of esports in terms of reaching, you know, a mainstream audience. We're beginning to see esports on ESPN and other stations that show traditional sports. So how has us being kind of shut in and, you know, just sitting there and trying to find things to do, how has that in a way been a big boost to esports?
COVID-19, obviously, you know, my hearts and thoughts go to all those who are affected by it. But for the esports industry right now, it's really helped highlight who it is and what it can provide, you know, especially during times like this. And I think COVID-19 really highlighted the hardest part for the esports industry, and that was getting the word out, right, and on a large scale, quickly and effectively. Anybody can promote and try and get the word about esports over a year through certain tactics. But right now, you couldn't pay for this type of coverage and press. You know, the esports industry can never get this on their own if they wanted to. And simply because we have to social distance, all of our attention is going to our screens. For example, one of my friends, he's a 29-year-old single male, lives by himself. He's used to hang out with us, you know, on the weekends here and there, but with social distancing, he's had to find other avenues. And I reached out to him and said, hey man, you might want to think about buying an Xbox. And he kind of shrugged it off, like, I don't know, you know, video games I haven't done in a while, this and that. He plays more than I do now, you know, and it's because he realized, he saw the value in socializing, being able to have that camaraderie with, you know, your other friends that you know, are maybe miles apart, but you're able to get on and have the same goal and work toward together and still enjoy it, you know what I'm saying? And nowadays, when we get together, it's funny because even though we haven't seen each other for 2-3 weeks due to, you know, COVID, we see each other and it's like, it's not like we miss each other because we talk to each other every other day. Does that make sense? It's the familiarity is there because we're able to do it digitally online. So with COVID-19, it's really helped highlight and get the word out to those who didn't really understand the impact of video games. I think, like you said, ESPN airing Madden profiles, camps on Sunday mornings. That's huge. It just tells you how serious they're taking it. And so, like I said, COVID-19, you know, isn't the greatest. I wish we had it during different times, you know, this type of boost, but we'll take it and we'll ride it as well.
Well, you are listening to and viewing Play to Win. Again, I'm your host, Charles Gentry, aka The Oracle, and my guest is LeAndrew Gordon of Esports Futuri, and we're talking about various aspects of esports. LeAndrew, starting with a new company, and you know, you're working in a place that's getting off the ground. You guys are, you know, are building some great things over there at Esports Futuri. Give us an idea of the vision, because I've talked myself with Jacob Miles, who is the you know, the founder over there, and the you know, the force that's moving all these things and putting all these pieces together with great people like yourself. Uh, give us an idea of the vision that Jacob has over at Esports Futuri, and some of the things you guys are trying to execute over there.
Vision, man. We really want to see our surrounding communities, our nation, our world succeed. And Jacob and this company, we believe that video games, technology, esports will play a big role in that, not only on the recreational side, but on the educational side as well. The FDA just approved a video game the other day for a certain medical condition. That's huge, and this is just the tip of the iceberg, as we've said. And we want to be on the forefront of that. We want to help get that type of technology. We want to put those kids ahead of their peers. We want to give every kid opportunities to succeed and maximize their potential. And we believe that can be done through STEM, STEAM, video games, competitive esports, and still have fun with it at the same time. And also just reaching the general masses. Like I said, this is a different time than we've ever lived in. People, 40, 50 and below play video games, quite a few of them now, and it's only going to continue to grow. So I think, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Sooner or later, I'd say 75% of the world will probably be playing video games at some point within the next 10, 20 years. And that's something that you just can't argue. It's just something that most leagues can't even fathom or wish they could even participate in. And so we just want to be the forefront of it, help it grow recreationally and educationally, and just do our parts and just enjoy this rise of competitive video games and all that has with it. So,
one of the unique things about esports and about video games is the ability for, as you spoke to earlier, a young person, whether it's, young boy, young girl, to be at their home in one country and actually be playing a game against someone in an entirely different country, and even, maybe speaking back and forth to them on headphones. So esports and video gaming goes across even the borders of different nations. Tell us about what you see happening there, how it feels, how you think that will impact society and the world for people to be able to do that.
I'll tell you, it's already impacting the world. And I'll give you an example of how. We're working with a company called Mainline, one of our partners, and they are the esports online platform sponsor for the Big 12 Conference esports tournament, the Madden esports tournament. They are having a season. They are fully going forward with that right now on their Madden esports side. And the way you register as a student is you go and register online and you sign up, you play, etc., and you log in, just like you would any other sport. They are preparing for that as we speak. They're going to have a Big 12. This is, Power 5 NCAA conference. They're having a Madden esports tournament right now, as to the NFL canceling their preseason games, high schools being delayed their seasons back right now, the esports season cycle is just going to continue to pick up. What I'm saying? Everything else is in limbo right now, and I'm sure it'll get worked out at some point. But this momentum on the esports side is only going to continue to pick up. And speaking more to your geographical side, like I said, you'll have teams all over the globe competing with each other at any time throughout the day and being thousands of miles away. And that's just something, that's a variable factor, or a factor that some of these other leagues can't even think about trying to compete with, and that viewership, that interest, that's only going to continue to grow, is something that esports definitely has on their side.
Talk with the various people who come on and work in different facets of esports. And one of the things that we talk about is the way that esports is kind of divided up. You know, you have societies, cultures built around each one of the games. You know, League of Legends has its own fans and its own culture. Fortnite has its own fans and its own culture, and the people who love and play that. You know, Call of Duty, same thing. Then you have the gamers who play the sports games. You know, NBA 2K, Madden. So you have all of these different splinter groups, but as well, you have tournaments going on at the same time that in another place, leagues are going on. So, you know, it's not just a focus on one particular area and going in one direction, but esports seems to be just splintered off into just 1,000 different directions. You know, do you see it continuing to go that way? Is it going to be more of a consolidation of people, you know, building more leagues and going the league direction, or other people saying, no, let's go in the tournament direction? You know, how do you see this coming together in the future? Is it going to be a consolidation, or is one of the reasons that esports is growing so fast and is so popular is because there's a place in it for everyone, it seems?
I think two things. I think there is a place for everyone, but I do think it'll also consolidate. I think it's just like a gold rush right now. But like I said, the numbers are hard to deny. You know, these numbers is a gold rush for a reason. This is what the market has kind of has said they wanted, and this is what the appetite of the market is. How long it'll last, you know, we'll see. We'll see. But one thing we do know is that the growth here is ridiculous. You know, this is only the tip of the iceberg that I really fully believe until, you know, it's like betting against technology, you know, and I don't think anybody really wants to bet against technology. Technology is only going to grow everywhere. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to reverse. And as that continues, things that are supported by technology, you know, recreationally, video games, is going to continue to move forward with it. It's just going to take us past certain limits that we never even thought of, you know. There's a gaming center here in Dallas where you can put on a virtual reality headset and have a virtual gun set in your hand, and there's a little running board that you like run on, so that you're actually in a map with the headset on and running with the gun, and you know, full virtual. You know, it's live. You know, I think as technology continues to grow, that'll be more and more common. And like I said, it's just hard to beat with those types of experiences. You know, at any time of the day. And like I said, you don't have to be tall, don't have to be short, big, small, it doesn't matter.
Dallas seems to be, you know, and bringing that up, boy, kind of turning into the epicenter of esports here in the U.S. You know, tell us about that whole Dallas scene, how that come about, and, you know, and how things evolving there.
You know, Dallas-Fort area is just known for quite a few things. You know, we really have a great youth league, you know, harvest center here, and it also doesn't hurt that we have the world's most valuable sports franchise here in the Dallas-Fort area as well. So that brings in lots of visitors and visitors internationally. And I think the Esports Stadium in Arlington, they had an idea that partnering with the city of Arlington and putting it in a high traffic area would be good for them and also for the esports community. It's centrally located within the United States, and their facility is just absolutely world class. The Esports Stadium team, Jonathan Angers, and they gave Esports Futuri a tour not too long ago. And we've partnered with them to put on tournaments. And I just got to say, their esports facility is top notch. They're renovating the entire thing. I've seen more cameras in that building than I've seen throughout my entire life. the technology that they have. It's going to be unreal when we get to use it. And just the sheer number of visitors that they're pulling in internationally, teams. I mean, some really great things coming from that side.
That thing has like 18,000 seats. I mean, I'm originally from Los Angeles, 18,000 seats. You're talking about something the size of Staples Center there.
Yeah, I mean, space, it does not lack for space at all. It does not lack for space and does not lack the technology. And it's actually the largest esports stadium in North America. So a lot of these big tournaments when you see on Madden, Activision, a lot of those big video games, they make their way down here to Arlington, Dallas, Texas, and have their shows, tournaments, and they go all out here. And so it's becoming, like you said, that center of esports here in North America. Definitely.
Right place at the right time, my friend.
Hard to beat that.
Yeah. Well, and wrapping up, let me ask you this, in terms of you personally, what things do you want to accomplish moving forward? Esports is the center of that, but give us an idea of who LeAndrew is and what you want to accomplish in moving forward.
For me, moving forward is I associate moving forward with always continuing to grow, always continuing to learn, and using that not selfishly but for others, and that's always been my goal, mission throughout life is, I'm not doing it for myself, I do it for others. And even from the first day that Jacob brought us on, he had a passion to share this with others, uplift others, uplift the esports community and help, disadvantaged communities and those disadvantaged kids enjoy this too. I think it personally relates to him and me. So we both kind of share that mission and goal. And as, we continue to grow as a society and partnering with technology, I'm excited about being on the forefront of it. And, by partnering the educational and the recreational side with it and seeing where that allows us to go and all that has to offer. So I think, just continue to help people. I never in a million years would have thought that I'd end up here, but I always knew that continue looking, grinding, continue learning, keep your mind open, something you enjoy will land in your lap. And I couldn't be more excited that's been in this field. Just feel extremely blessed and excited and can't wait. So
thanks for coming on Play2Win. Appreciate it. Appreciate the information and the knowledge that you shared with our audience today. And, we're definitely going to be keeping up with you, keeping up with Esports Futuri as you move forward and all these things unfold to see just, how far, how fast, and how great you guys will be doing over there.
Thank you, Charles. I appreciate having me on, and I'm sure we'll be talking soon.
Definitely so. All right. Well, we are going out with Mr. DJ Yams taking us out of here. DJ?
Damn, son, where'd you find this? Houston, traffic has never been this hot.
Here we go!
Sit back and trip. This is the Traffic Jam with Yams. Cut it. Round 1. Fight. KO. Round 2. Fight. KO. Round 3. Fight. KO. You win. Round 1. Fight. KO. Round 2. Fight. KO. Round 3. Fight. KO. Round 4. Fight. KO. You win. Round 1. Fight. KO. Round 2. Fight. KO. Round 3. Fight. KO. Round 4. Fight. KO. Final round. Fight. KO. You win.
All right, breaking back from DJ Yams, our man, as usual, bringing the sounds to us. We got a good one today. We have a doubleheader going on. 2 guests here, gamers, avid gamers, and we're going to talk about the games they like to play, all those things. You've tuned in to Play to Win. I'm your host, Charles Gentry, aka The Oracle, and we are talking to our 2 guests today, Tank and Josh. How's it going, fellas?
Hey, how's it
All
going?
right. All right. Good, good, good. Well, we are going to have one of those sessions where, as I said, we just have a lot of fun. We're going to talk about the games you guys like to play and, you know, get into the particulars of that and we talk about esports all the time from 360 degrees of it. You know, professional esports players to league owners, celebrities, teams, all of that good stuff. So I want to get it from the gamers' point of view today, you know, talking to you guys who actually play the games for fun and find out what's going on in that world. So first of all, we're talking about a particular game that you guys play together, and that is, I believe, Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah, we play Rainbow Six Siege. Actually, Josh could probably tell you more. He put me onto the game. He invited me to his team, so like.
All right,
Yeah,
what's the deal with that, there, Josh? It's Tom Clancy game, right?
Yeah, it's a tactical first-person shooter, but it's a little different compared to a lot of other first-person shooters for the fact that, you know, whenever you play, like you die in a round, you stay dead.
Okay.
And like it's a game with a pretty high skill gap because you're probably gonna it's one of those games where you're gonna end up dying a lot at the beginning until you truly kind of grasp the rules and the physics of the game and all these things, because it's a little more dynamic than the average first-person shooter, because the environment itself is very destructible. Like every bullet you shoot, like, will cause a hole, like in a wall or the building, and the things that and it's a game where teamwork actually really matters, because like in something like Call of Duty or Battlefield, you can be like a lone warrior, like a lone wolf, and be good. But in this game here, like, call outs of the map are very important. And you also have drones in the game that you can throw, like little RC cars that will drive into the room. That way you can like tell where the enemy is in the room before you actually make your plan on going in. So it's very it's very methodical, like compared to a lot of other first-person shooters.
All right, higher skill level. What attracted you to it, Tank?
Like the fact that you can't just rush in. Like honestly, you have to sit and plan. If you're that good and you can rush in, that's cool. But when you run into the team as a unit, you can't just rush in and try and be just, the bad guy. You have to plan. Like, it forces you to actually learn multiple. It forces you to use. You got to use everything you know about video gaming, and maybe just common sense as well, because it forces you to learn multiple characters. You don't just and start with just your character and upgrading them. You have to learn multiple operators. So you have your attackers and your defenders, and you figure out which one you like. Which one you like the best. Which one works for you, and that's how you go about as far as figuring out your plan of attack. Some may offer. They all have special ability. Unique characteristic that set them apart from everyone. Kind of like one guy, Fuse, he may set down a device that sucks up grenades as you throw him into a room. Or you may have a guy like Capcan where he can set traps. You wouldn't see him if you just move, because you're moving fast. You're gonna be moving fast, and once you grasp the speed of how the game goes, you play a little better, because it's all about reaction time as well.
Okay. All right.
Being in a stare down, and the difference between you hitting your firing button a second slower than them. One bullet it's so realistic. One bullet can be the one to take you out. You don't have to. So
all right.
One put you down, and you're just like, okay, now I gotta wait till the next round.
Yeah. So the skill level is higher, and what I'm hearing too is there's some collaboration going on in the game. You're more of a team than an individual guy going in there.
Yeah, you can most definitely tell if you're playing against a team that's communicating. Like, you can tell in just the style of gameplay. Maybe a team that's not communicating so well, you can catch them slipping. You maybe can pick them off one by one. But if you have a team that's communicating well, and especially if they play with their same operators a lot, so if they already play together well and they use operators that they know they feed off each other, you can most definitely tell, like, the round will be so fast, it happens quickly.
Okay. All right.
And boom.
All right,
Everybody.
we're gonna see a clip of it. So we're gonna take a short sneak, and we're actually going to see the game. We're gonna see the trailer of Rainbow Six Siege, and you guys can check it out. See a little bit about what it's about.
Ain't no way, dog.
Down white.
You're so lucky, dog.
I have a cam. It's not luck.
Hey, stop the cheats.
All right, back from that. Now you see a taste of what that's all about. Tell us, as you said, it's different from games like Call of Duty, and those games. You can't exactly be a Rambo in this game and just run in blasting everybody solo, right?
No,
Josh?
Call of Duty, you
Well,
can see running across the map, just shredding everybody, one or two guys. You look at the kill page, he has maybe 48 kills, and he's just going, like you said, going Rambo. Now,
Right.
You may have like that, but he'll take down maybe two people before, because the bullets, they're coming. Like when I tell you a storm of bullets, and they can go through walls, they're piercing everything. And you have certain characters that have the ability to go through reinforced walls,
Okay. This is what I want to ask Josh. You introduced Tank to the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Josh, what was it about that particular game that you thought would really capture his interest? Why is that the game that you introduced?
Because I know Tank was actually in the military, and the fact that, because I used to have a full team that I played with, on a regular basis with, but that group pretty much disbanded, and the game really wasn't fun to me unless I had teammates to actually play with. And I know that Tank was really big on shooters, but like I really had to kind of convince him, how it was different from like, a lot of other first person shooters, because I tend to get bored with, the ones you just run and gun around with,
Right.
I like the fact that, each kill really does feel earned. And, when you die, like, when you've messed up. Because you got to wait, like, literally about, like, I don't know, 5 minutes until you can play again.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
It's not
so,
one
like,
of those where you just can pop up and get right back to it.
No, yeah. Like, you got to learn, like, what you did wrong. Like,
Right.
it punishes you. But, like, I realized that Tank, like, he's into shooters, so, maybe he would, like, be into like this, like the fact that because he was actually in the military, and the way you communicate actually immerses you to make you feel as if you are like like elite SWAT team together. Like for instance, if it's me and him versus one guy in the room, we know the guy's in the room. Like I'll be like, all right, I'll pop a drone out and I'll scan, we're going to find out where he is before we both go in. But at the same time, like when I find the guy, like we'll both go in at two different doorways, so that way the guy can't be able to shoot both of us at once. So, we could actually coordinate in time when to go into the room and take the guy out, like he literally, it doesn't matter how you are, if you have like two guns that know exactly where you are, like when you go in.
Right.
And then there are other ways that you can go to the room besides the door. Like we could have one of us set a breach charge on a soft wall as we until we decide to pop in there, but we won't even be going through where that hole is blown. We'll be going in through somewhere else. Like you use a lot of diversionary tactics and all these strats and stuff, but it's really immersive. That's what I love about the game.
This is what I want to ask Tank. Being in the military, how realistic is the game to you, Tank? The way that it goes down, the communication you have to have between your team. How realistic is it?
I mean, like as far as the communication wise amongst the teammates, that's real because of course you have to communicate. But I would say as far as the gameplay wise, some of it probably fake. Some of it, like some of the things that we do in the game, we probably harm ourselves and our teammates if it was to happen in real life.
Right.
As far as if we throw I'm on the game, if we throw a flashbang or maybe a grenade, in real life, not only would that harm the player, I mean your opponent, your enemy, but that will also harm you as well.
It will get you as well, right?
He would probably be, hurt the most, but the blast radius, if you're caught in that, then you're gonna as well concussion, maybe some shrapnel might hit you. So that's one of the instances where in real life it probably would harm us as well, but it's a video game, so of course we know better than if don't do this in real life, it's just a game. So
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We actually play with a teammate that whenever he picks like grenades in his loadout, he's more of a harm to himself than the actual enemy. Like he'll actually pull the pin and cook it too long, and he'll kill himself. And we'll see like on the little kill feed up top, our teammate pretty much blew himself up, like.
You
or
might want to throw that grenade, huh?
yeah. It's like, or he'll just, not tell us when he's throwing a flashbang, and then he gets all of us, It's like I've seen him like throw one and it not make it in the window and bounce back at us, and like.
Yep. Now we running out.
Yeah. He's the one nobody wants to go out on patrol with.
Yeah. Well, another thing about the real, compared to a lot of other shooters is like they keep friendly fire on.
Oh yeah,
Because
so
like,
big issue. You can
You
also
can actually shoot your teammates.
your
yeah, and
teammate
they'll die just as easy.
gets caught in that line of fire.
Right.
You
Yeah,
responsible.
because a big part about that game is like holding angles, because you can aim the gun and tilt behind cover and shoot.
And everything. So
Yeah, so like if you angle for a while, waiting for a guy to pop his head out, your teammate could like just pop up like right in front of your scope as you're already shooting, and you
Yeah.
know you'll kill your teammate. Like,
That's
and
what-
it's happened before.
shooting, you let them know, hey, I got this area over here, you know, so don't come over here.
Don't get in the kill zone.
I can admit
Yeah,
I'm
pretty much. Uh-huh.
the suspect of doing that a couple of times. You know, I
Okay.
killed teammates because they ran up in my car, but
Right.
Yeah,
right.
like another thing about that is like, if you like, the thing about that game is sound is extremely important. Like, having a headset on, like, you got to really train your ears to tell whether footsteps are coming from your right or left. Because like, if you walk straight up, like, you make a lot of noise. Like, people can hear you walking, but if you walk in crouch, like, they don't hear where you're walking from. So like, if you get good enough at the game to where, you know, you've trained your ears to hear from your right or the right or left, you know, earpiece, like, you can tell if they're coming, like, you know, what way from the hallway they're coming from. Because, you know, the game can also be a little nerve-wracking from the sound itself. Like, if you're walking in a hallway and all of a sudden you just hear, oh, like, you're like on edge, like, to figure out like where it's coming from.
Okay.
Because like, yeah,
All right.
some map place you in some rooms where you have to depend on listening because there's no good areas to take cover. So literally, whether you have to secure an objective, protect the hostage, or secure bombs, it'll place you in a room where no matter where you take cover, some portion of your body is going to be uncovered. So you have to watch two areas. So it may involve you looking from one side of the room to the other side to make sure, because some guys are that good as to where they can just aim at you on the spot and just boom, one shot you. Some guys,
yeah.
fortunately, I'm not. But
Okay.
just,
Well,
All right.
yeah,
Well,
because
we're
like,
listening.
some,
We're listening to two of our gamers here. We're listening to Tank and Josh talking about the game Rainbow Six Siege and the characteristics of it. That particular game is one that both of you played together. There's another game that you really love to play, and it is Ghost of Tsushima. Right?
yeah.
Tell us about that one, and why that attracts you.
It just came out. What's today? The 25th. It just came out last week, if I'm not mistaken. Last weekend, Friday. It's only been out maybe a week, but I mean, I've been on it every day. I like it. I like every aspect about it because simply for me, I mean, let me tell you. Okay, the basis of it is samurai. It's if you know anything about Japan in the days of war with samurai and Mongols. For me, I'm a history freak. I enjoy history. I love history. So any game that's depicting moments of history, I'm into it. Off topic, but Assassin's Creed, that's my game. I don't know if a lot of people like that game, but it reminds me of Ghost of Tsushima. They kind of remind me of each other with such as the gameplay of it, you know. As far as it, and it's so much to do. I've been playing it since it came out, and I'm still not even halfway done with it. What I like about it is the history of it. It shows you just the old school, just not really just old school. I don't want to say old school like there's a new school to just Japan war or anything like that. But like, I enjoy the anime side of it as well. I'm a nerd. I like anime as well. So what I mean by that is you'll see an Anbu Black Ops soldier, the mask that they wear, the fighting style, some of the weaponry, some of the lifestyle, the way that they live. You'll see just the beauty of the game itself I don't know who designed it, but just you can just ride out in the field of the game and you will feel as if you're in Japan itself. You know, you're sitting out there and the graphics of it, the gameplay, the style, you can either be a quiet assassin or you can defend your honor. Samurai, they were big on honor. And this uncle is riding his back because the way that they have to fight now is different because they've been invaded by the Mongols. So they can't just, you know, I don't want to make it seem like I'm just correct about the numbers, but they were outnumbered. I would say on this game it looks like about 20-1 because on this game you will find yourself in those situations to where you're in maybe an enemy fort, and if you decide to go into it and defend your honor, then you'll face them head on. And with facing them head on, you know, you'll give them a chance to actually call out for backup, and you will see maybe 18, 15 enemy soldiers.
These guys are coming from everywhere, right?
Yeah, coming from everywhere. But if you decide, because as Samurai left, I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't got it, but he's the last one left, so his fighting style had to change up. He's the only one that's going to fight the Mongols. You know, they've enslaved their people. Nobody's going to stand up to the Mongols. You know, they're all afraid. So his fighting style has to change. Instead of him going up facing them with honor, he's outnumbered. So he's going about it, as his uncle called it, as a thief, you know, dishonoring the family name and the samurai code, because he's basically turned into an assassin. And that's why I say it reminds me of the Assassin's Creed side, because once you start to go into it, he came into a conflict with himself as to where he was sticking to the honor code, and he knew that he would eventually die, you know, if he stuck to the code that he was raised on.
Right.
He
So
transformed.
basically, he's got to do what he's got to do.
That's what he was telling his uncle. Yeah, that's what he was trying to tell his uncle. Like, I understand that, I apologize, but I got to do what I got to do. And if you do it that way, I mean, I'm a gamer. Like, I love being in the situation of being outnumbered. So for me, I do it either or. If I feel like going in quiet and, you know, peacefully taking everybody out, I'll do that. But if I'm feeling it that day, you know, I just want to go in and, you know, just see what I can do. Because sometimes, I mean, I get in that situation, I just like to see, okay, let me see if I can get out of this situation, you know, see if I can fight my way out of this situation, you know. Because I just like that.
All right. So another game, let's take a peek at that one as well, Ghost of Tsushima. And check it out. I love, like you said, I love the graphics, man. It looks so real. Yeah.
Think about the beauty of it.
Take a quick peek at that. And this is Ghost of Tsushima. All right. So we'll pop that in and have a good look at it. That's all Brian's work. All right. Okay. So coming back from that, as we say, the graphics, super real looking, you know, look like you're actually right there.
And there's no bars held. You can, it's an open world game. If you see a mountain, you want to climb it. If you figure a way to climb it, go ahead. But hey, you can risk falling down now. So, but you unlock, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. You unlock things to help you out along the way, and how you use that, it depends on you. And any of the anime fans, you'll find out that they actually pray to the Susanoo. They don't wear it as armor and go to war. So,
okay.
Protection on this.
All right. Okay. And with you, Josh, what's another game that you actually play and enjoy?
Well, it's another game we also play. It's called For Honor, and like what this one is, it's not historical based, but it has historical warriors in it. It's like a big mashup, because like you've got different factions like knights, samurai, Viking, and you know they just added like a Chinese faction of some sort. But it's almost, I wouldn't necessarily call it a fighting game, but like a traditional fighting game, because you know normally a fighting game is like two people on a 2D platform, but this is like it's like a 3D run around the map type of thing. But what sets it apart for me from a lot of other games where you use swords and like that is the fact that, you know, you're not just mashing X, Y, triangle, like all the little face buttons on your control. Because, like, you mainly use triggers, like, on your controller, but the combat's immersive because, like, on your analog stick, you'll actually be changing your stance all the time in the game to where it's either right, left, or up. And, you know, depending on that stance, that's where you're going to attack from. But if someone's attacking you from, you know, one of those positions, you can move your analog stick in order to block and, like, parry. So the combat is a little more, you got to put a little more thought into it than just hitting X, you know, just the face buttons over and over again, like a lot of other games.
All right. All right. Talk to me, you know, both of you, and I'll go to Tank first and then to you, Josh. Talk to me about the changes you've seen in the games, because, you know, you guys are young, but you're still old enough to have seen, man, you know, how the graphics have changed, you know, how things have become more realistic. Over the last 10 years, you know, what have you seen in games that has really changed and been updated, Tank?
I would say for me, I'm a person that looks at small details. So I would say maybe in the last 10 years, in a lot of games, you can see the details in the characters' faces. You know, facial expression, maybe dentures, scars. You can even see character builds. You have more characters that look like everyday people now. You have, you know, you don't have this kid that, you know, he's playing as this guy that looks like, I don't know, Hulk, and he's my size. You know, I'm a skinny dude. I gotta be realistic like me, you know.
Right.
You can see as far as the environmental details, things look more like real life things. You know, video games are starting to look more like real life. And not with just the graphics itself, but as far as gameplay as well. You have video games now, it's where you can pretty much do anything you can do in real life. I mean, like you said, I'm young, but I started playing games early in life. And when I started playing, the football players, everybody looked the same on the video games, you know. Everything, the only thing that was different about them was just the skin color, but their faces were the same. But now you look at Madden 21 and look at how different it is from Madden 2004. These guys are actually looking like them real life selves, and you can even make your character look like you on some games with the face scan edition on. I'm not sure if they all have them. I don't have a face scan character, but I know some people that 2K, they're my part, or you know, that player looks exactly like them. So it's been a lot of changes for video games over the years, with graphics and gameplay, style. You have some video game franchises, take Grand Theft Auto for instance. I think it came out in 2000. I don't know. It's been out for so long. I forgot how long. You know when it came. But when you have a platform like that, you can just add DLCs and add things for players to do. You can keep it running for a long time. And like I said earlier, with the online feature, I believe it's been about 10 years. I think PlayStation came out with PlayStation Plus 10 years ago. But before that, the only way you were playing with your friends was you guys coming over to each other's house.
Yeah, you have to be in the same place, right.
And you guys be, okay, I'll bring my controller, you bring the CD, you know. Now, I mean, thousands, I don't want to say thousands, but I'm hundreds of miles away from home, and I can play with my cousins. It's one of the biggest changes that I feel, you know, video games has did over the years.
All right, Josh, what are the big changes you've seen, Josh, over, you know, that time period?
Oh yeah, the graphics are like a given, and like but like even when it comes to other NPCs, as you call them, like, you know, the characters in the game that aren't like really players, the ones that like talk to you at the shops or whatever, like in a game, they used to not even move their mouths sometimes when they talk to you. And
Right,
you know,
right.
yeah, or like you would also sometimes they wouldn't even have voice actors. It would just be text, you know, talking to you, you know. And you
And
know, voice acting itself has like come a long way because you know you would have very unconvincing, you know, death sounds or you know a person just you know acting excited or whatnot. It was, like the other characters would sometimes be pretty monotone. It would seem kind of like you know a little off-putting, but also the culture of gaming has changed itself because of just the online aspect. You know, the accessibility to be able to play with you know someone that's not in the room with you. You know, and you know, in terms of Major League Gaming, like that's probably what inspired it because you know like how good could you possibly be you know just playing with people in your neighborhood all the time. Unless it were maybe fighting games, because I know fighting games itself, like Evo, like they pretty much you know started off in like garages and stuff, you know, of just sweaty, nerdy people just you know getting good at Street Fighter, you know, competing with one another. But another thing though, like something I've noticed with you know gaming, like the progression of just you know the like from back then is like sometimes they do sacrifice a little bit of quality for quantity. Like for instance, if you look at Grand Theft Auto 4 compared to Grand Theft Auto 5, like Grand Theft Auto 5 does definitely have like, you know, a bigger maps, more things to do, more cars and all of that. But like I feel that the physics in the game itself took kind of a toll because like in 4 the handling felt a little more realistic. And whenever a car would break or like have a dent in it, there would be a lot more variation on how the car was broken, you know? And in 5 and like also when you would shoot somebody in like 4, like if you shot someone in the leg, they would be limping, you know, like and they would actually lose balance and like have these awkward movements. But in 5, like when someone dies, it's like they just fall on the ground, but like they don't even like their bodies don't even like, you know, move around like ragdoll physics like in 4. So sometimes like,
I
you
love
know, quality is sacrificed for quantity in games.
Okay. All right. Tank.
it. Yeah, I can pick back up on what he said. Like everything he's talking about, I miss those qualities in GTA 5. Like on one of them, it caught me by surprise. I'm just driving fast. I'm speeding. I'm going so fast the screen is starting to get blurry, and I crashed. But when I crashed, I hit a wall, and my guy came out of the windshield of the car, and I'm like, well, okay, never saw that happen on GTA before.
Right.
I think I forgot which one was it, Josh. Wasn't it 4? The one where you played with the motorcycle club? Wasn't it that one? I think it was one of those. But he came through the windshield. They don't do that on Grand Theft Auto 5 anymore. You know, that was one of
Okay.
the, I said, call me crazy,
Yeah.
but those qualities as well about the game. Just the small,
Yeah.
All right.
like, you know, you hit him in the arm, you know, or in the leg, like Josh said, you know, he eventually limps over and then loses balance.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they most definitely those qualities out there. But they do 5, so, and you know, everybody's waiting on 6, of course. I mean, they'll talk about that one. I don't keep wait until I see it about to happen, about to drop, and then I say, okay, I'll buy it. Like you said, I just play anything that pops up on the screen.
All right. All right. Well, I'm talking to Tank and Josh, two avid gamers. You tune into, of course, Play to Win. And I'm your host, Charles Gentry, AKA The Oracle. And we're just talking about the evolution of games and some of the, you know, their favorite games that they love to play. Let me ask you guys this in going out. We all know what's coming, 5G. You know, and we've heard all about the changes that are probably going to happen, the speed of it, and the things it's going to allow games to do just from everything being able to be sped up so fast. What things do you look at and say, man, I would love it if game designers were able to do this once 5G comes out? I'm going to go to Josh, and then I'm going to end with you, Tank. So just give me what you would like to see in the future in terms of games.
If in terms of like 5G, like having to do with 5G, okay, so obviously like the internet speed, it's a big factor like competitively, because like 1 frame off means the difference between, you know, a person having an advantage over you. But something that I guess would be if they could kind of like make the speed even amongst like all players, because like sometimes it does someone with a higher ping or connection will definitely have like a faster response time than you, like in the game, you know. And I guess like that's all I'd really like to see, like because like even right now, like connections to games, like they're pretty good right now, you know. It's just unfortunately some people don't have better signals than other players.
Right. So it gives those people who do have, you know, connections that are faster a big advantage.
Yeah, and like some people use like, you know, LAN cables like directly connected to their console, while other people just connect through Wi-Fi, which is, you know, the slower route, like of having like a you know, a better connection.
Okay. All right. How do you look at it, Tank? What would you like to see coming up when 5G pops off?
Man, honestly, I hope that they, like we stated earlier, I hope that they're able to make all games compatible to be mobile. More of them. I hope they're able to get that going, you know, more frequently. And I mean, call me crazy or whatever, but I mean, who wouldn't, as far as gaming goes, gamers, who wouldn't want to just, you know, be able to pop out their phone and, you know, while they're sitting in the airport, you know? Because, I mean, I know a lot of people may can agree with me. PSP was before its time. I mean, I would pay money to have a PSP right now or a Game Boy Advance, honestly. You know, because sometimes you want to be comfortable when you're gaming as well. 5G would make that a little more, you know, convenient. Like I said, you can just flip over your phone and lay back and play Madden, actual, not the Madden mobile, or, you know, actually can play My Career Madden, or, you know, just continue your story from Ghost of Tsushima. And I can agree with what Josh was saying as well, you know, because when you lag, man, somebody's internet being a second faster than yours, that could be a round maker, you know. That could
That's
be the
bad news.
You know, you guys could be, you know, 99 and 90, you know, and you lag out that 1 second, and boom.
You'll see somebody like moonwalking.
Yeah, you'll
sometimes.
Okay. I kind of agree with Josh, and I hope they're able to make mobile gaming a little more compatible.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, man, I appreciate you guys being on Play2Win with us and, you know, talking about games, sharing some of your experience with us, some of your stories. And, you know, we're going to see, man, you know, 5G is upon us, so we're going to see what we're going to see. But, hey, you guys have a great one. Enjoyed having you on. And, you know, we'll pop back in with you again a little later. And, you know, be some more new stuff out. We'll bring you back on and talk about that at that time.
Gotcha.
All right.
All right.
Hey, take it easy. Tank, Josh, have a great one, man.
To Charles, you guys.
All right, you too.
All right. Okay, we're going to hit it up with DJ Yams. Boom, there he is.
Houston, traffic has never been this hot.
Here we go!
Sit back and trip. This is the Traffic Jams with Yams.
Mic check. What's up, Play2Win fans? We appreciate y'all for tuning in to another week of Play2Win. Let's get into these tunes.